thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to see you. Before we go in talking about the cultural archives, I just thought we'd have a little look at the papers. We usually start with that first, and I wanted to know if there was anything that had jumped out at you in the papers this week.
Anything that jumped out? Well, we've got a whole spread here in front of us, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I particularly saw this one, which is unfortunately it's Bobby Kristina has been apparently moved to a hospice. After, in January she had this mysterious illness and she was in a coma, and she's been in a coma ever since. So apparently she's now been moved to a hospice, which doesn't really bode well, and it's just really sad. It's just a really sad story, not just because of her, but because of Whitney, and the whole kind of legacy of it just seems like a real shame. And have you got any thoughts about that? I'm not saying, have you got any thoughts about
I think
the whole story?
Not so much in that particular circumstance, but the whole kind of what's happening with Whitney Houston, I think, or what happened with Whitney Houston, I think, is a big deal in terms of the aspiring for greatness, having achieved it. And then the kind of tragedy and the circumstances that she faced, I thought was really tough. Yeah.
What do you mean the tragedies? Do you mean in terms of her becoming an addictive, like becoming an addict and like losing the kind of, because she was such a beacon, such an icon, wasn't
exactly.
she? And it shows
and
how
that angelic voice and everything,
Amazing
without question, just superstar in every respect.
Exactly.
But then there's always these kind of two sides to things, isn't there? Kind of the rise and the fall, shall we say? Yeah,
cautionary tale. And Bobby Kristina was her only daughter, and it seems that they were really close. And obviously her mother's death is going to have affected her a lot. But what this article is particularly saying is that the guy that is her boyfriend, which was also kind of stepson of Whitney Houston as well, has been arrested, or there's something about her money and wanted to get access. So it's all a bit messy, and it's kind of a shame when we have these great icons and people that we look up to, and we know they're only human at the end of the day, but it just seems that sometimes, whichever level of society you go into, the drama just seems to be all pervasive, and we can't seem to escape